Hello, the amazing D365 community. This is Danica Makatangay, your Miss Dynamic Millennial. It has been a while since we had our blog with a video demo like this. And as far as I could remember, we're stuck with the Treacies with our Neophyte series. We're done with the currencies, we're done with the calendars, but not yet done with the chart of accounts. So for today, let's finish discussing our 3C so that we can continue, we can proceed with the other and topics that we have for our Neophyte series. So here it is. Let's discuss our chart of accounts. Okay, so first of all, what is a chart of accounts? Chart of accounts in the accounting parlance, chart of accounts is the list of the main accounts that we use to record accounting transactions in and outside a system. And in this instance, we are to set up the chart of accounts with main accounts, of course, in D365. How to do that? We navigate our modules, general ledger, and then we go to chart of accounts, and then chart of accounts. So for our chart of accounts, as a recommended practice to our clients is that we should maintain a shared chart of accounts, meaning we will only maintain one chart of accounts for all the legal entities that we have in the environment in D365 as much as possible. But to create a new chart of account, what we need to do is to click on the new button and then enter the code of the chart of account for that chart of account. Normally, since it is shared, we name it shared. And we put the description for the chart of accounts. We also have main account mask. What does this, what is the purpose of this? Again, this is an optional setup, but the main account mask determines how many characters, alphanumeric characters, we can use or maintain for our main account. So that if we only want 6 characters or 6 masking for our main account, then we can enter 6 here, or six hash. Is that 6 already? Yeah. Okay, so that's the purpose of the main account mask. But again, that is an optional setup. Why? Because there are other chart of accounts, like I think for Germany, German accounting, sometimes it's more than or less than 6 main account characters. Okay, and then next is once we have that, we have the chart of accounts code, the description, we can click on new. So since we already have something here that we are using, so once we click on new, we can click on new to create manually a main account. But we also have the option, and of course, if it is a clean slate environment, what we normally do, since the record of main accounts are like more than 50, more than 100 main accounts, what we normally do is use data management import function to import all these main accounts in the list. But how do we maintain it manually? We click on new from here, or what we can also do is to click on new from this main accounts. If we use this main accounts, what we can only see is the active or the chart of account that is linked on the ledger form. So in this instance, for this instance, the link chart of account on our ledger form for USMF company is the shared chart of accounts. Once we click on new, we get the same form that we have earlier when we click new on the chart of accounts form. And then from here, we can enter the main account and the name for that main account. Let us say for an example, 1001 cash. And here, as a default, the main account type is set as profit and loss. And since we know that this account is not a profit and loss account, we normally change that and set it to the correct main account type, which falls under asset or a balance sheet. So since we know that this one is really on an asset type, so we select main account type, and that falls the same for the rest of the main accounts that we will be maintaining or creating in the system. Once we set manually the main account and we opt to select a different main account type, automatically the debit and the credit default field would be filled up with the normal balance of that account. Since we selected asset, it has been defaulted to debit. This is useful when we do journal transactions or journal recordings because once we use this main account, automatically this, once we enter or click tab on the tab button, it would automatically go onto the debit side as a default. Since it is a default, then we can still change it to credit in case we need to change that into credit if the transaction calls for a credit for main account 1001. And we have here, which is not mandatory, but is useful for reporting purposes, especially when we are doing our management reporter or financial reports, the main account category. There are standard main account categories that are available in the system. And normally those, of course, are the main account categories that we use. And under main account category, since this is cash, let's take a look for the cash main account category. So what is the purpose of this? Main account category, as I have mentioned, is useful really for reporting purposes. So when we are creating our financial reports, designing our role definition on the management reporter, uh, all when we opt to design our balance sheet, for example, to have all the cash and cash equivalents in it, when we are already on the formula uh, column of it, we do not need to enter each main account that is equivalent for the cash and cash equivalents accounts. What we can do is to just select the main account categories that will fall under cash and cash equivalents. Later on, let's have a quick discussion of that as well, the management report as part of our Neophyte series. But for now, let's finish, of course, our 3Cs for the general ledger setup. And that is the baseline of the main account setup that we need to know. And normally, of course, we use this do not allow manual entry button. We enable this, but not for all the main accounts that we have. When do we use this? We use this for main accounts that are on the posting profiles, like for accounts payable, accounts receivable, fixed asset posting profiles, so that we will minimize or eliminate totally the risk of having a manual entry using those accounts. But we do put a yes, or we enable do not allow manual entry once we have migrated all the balances that we have. the opening or beginning balances that we have from our legacy system going to D365. Okay, so that's the baseline that we need to know for our main account setup. And we click on save, which I did earlier, so that I can also enable or activate other setup or buttons fields that we have for our main account setup. And as I have mentioned earlier, since if we go to the main accounts form directly, we can only see the main accounts or the chart of accounts that is linked or assigned on our ledger form. So what is the purpose of our ledger form? Let's discuss that here as well. And the general ledger setup, we click on ledger. So if you notice, we uh, discuss first currencies plus the exchange rates under that, our calendars, the fiscal and ledger calendars, and we discuss our chart of accounts. So this is how our ledger form looks like. This is where we connect or link all of those. Our chart of accounts, our calendar, our currencies, and of course, our account structure. Here on the account structure, we have to link or we can link our main account and our financial dimension. And I think for today's vlog, for today's demo, we are fine with the chart of accounts. Next time, we'll be dealing with the account structures, the main account combination plus the financial dimensions, and that latest update regarding financial tags. Because I have not been using that financial tags yet for the new implementations that we have. So let's all together discover what that financial tags are. Once again, thank you, my dear amazing D365 community. That would be all for today. Let's meet next time and let's all together unbox Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. Thank you and God bless us all. Bye bye.